In what ways does your media product use, develop or challenge forms and conventions of real media products?
My media product, first of all, is a mainstream genre production, a romantic comedy. It therefore develops the conventions of real media products. An example of a film of the same genre which contains similar conventions is Bridget Jones' Diary. This is where we got our inspiration from.
My product introduces the main characters and involves a credit sequence. It also sets up the narrative of the film. However, I feel that my product also challenges conventions of a media product in the type of editing that we use, as most mainstream films would use continuity editing. However, we have used montage editing. This is not a generic convention of an opening sequence or mainstream film.
Considering the micro and macro aspects of my product, typical conventions are used. For example, the narrative structure of the opening sequence does not give away the whole storyline. It leaves a cliffhanger that will then link towards the main body of the film. Additionally, within the opening sequence, stereotypical characters are used for the audience to relate to.
How does your media product represent particular social groups?
My media product represents a social group of teenage women and however gives an anti-feminist message saying that women need men. As when we see the dude leaving her, she breaks down completely and then can't live without a man, it seems. But it also represents how tangled up and hurtful love can be.
My media product represents a specific social group, that is, the lonely, single, early 20s depressed female. Therefore, the representation of the main character supports stereotypes, or this particular stereotype. This is typically conveyed through the use of setting, props and costumes. This is because I have used only one setting to show the character is associated to one setting, to show she is lonely. This is also conveyed through the use of costumes of which the character only wears baggy pyjamas. Additionally, the props also convey and support typical stereotypes. An example is the use of photos which show a close relationship between a boy and a girl.
I also feel that it shows how women are strong and can move on from things, as we see her show no emotion when we see her open the door to him.
What kind of media institution might distribute your media product and why?
The media institution we chose to distribute our media product is Miramax Films. The reason for this is Miramax Films distributed Bridget Jones' Diary, and when deciding on our media product, we got inspiration from this film.
Therefore, the media product is a mainstream commercial product because of the typical genre and stereotypical narrative at which the audience can relate to.
Who would be the audience for your media product?
The audience for our media product is mainly a female audience around the age of 12 plus and onwards. How did you attract/address your audience?
I was able to attract and address my audience by portraying a clear storyline. With the use of a simple storyline and limited characters will attract the audience and also address the audience.
We attracted/addressed our audience by the use of the narrative. It follows the classic Hollywood structure or Todorow's theory, as well as using typical and generic conventions so that we can therefore fulfil the audience expectations of a film. Also through the use of characters and mise-en-scène, we use typical location and props to show this. What have you learned about the technologies from the process of constructing this product?
The technology I've used in constructing my products is iMovie HD. I have learned specific ways to add effects, for example, fade-ins, cross-cutting, overlapping, transitions. In order to create a smooth, fluent, professional-looking opening sequence, I learnt how to cut a video at a specific point to adjoin them to other videos to create a variety of shots.
In the process of constructing this product, I have learned how to do more advanced things during the editing process, like using iMovie HD. These include how to add non-diegetic sound and a soundtrack, and also how to remove sound from clips in order to make the sound silent. I also learned how to add titles to parts of my sequence, like actors and directors and the name of the film. It is as good as the conventions of an opening sequence, therefore make my sequence seem more professional. This is good as it is conventions of an opening sequence, therefore making my sequence seem more professional.
Looking back at your preliminary task, what do you feel you have learned in the progression from it to the full product?
Looking back at my prelim task, I feel I have learnt the progression from it from my full product, that the editing is a lot smoother and seems more professional, using different types of cutting instead of just using the basic cuts, using cross dissolves and fades, and as well as the basic cuts. I also feel that we have progressed in the camera work. It is less jolty and more fluent and smooth, therefore making the look and feel of the full product nicer and more professional.